your residential garage door needs. You'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Harvest season is coming, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade for this year's harvest. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends August 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Limitless Male says it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: patchy fog possible this morning, a slight chance of rain this afternoon. Otherwise, should see mainly sunny skies with a high around 90. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, a low around 66. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies and light and variable winds with a high around 88. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley. Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Chicka, 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 chicka. 8 days to the Huskers kickoff here at 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock in the Blackshirt, here to entertain you for 2 hours a day from 1 to 3 here on the Ticket Station. I'm the Blackshirt, Terrell Farley, and I'm with
Jake Bockoven.
Hey, the best producer in the country to me.
There we go, yeah.
All right, Bock, we got 8 days to the Husker kicks off and like 4 days before the other guys kick off. Week 0.
Yeah, even less than that, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll be there.
Yeah, 3-1 wake up.
Yeah, wake up.
All right, Bock, we do this every day. 8 days to Husker football, the best number 8 in school history. There's a couple of guys that made the list, probably 10 of them that made it, but it's only one number 8. As I do always, Bock, I start off from the bottom, work my way to the top.
There we go.
Are you ready, Buck?
I'm ready for some names.
All right. Logan Smothers.
Okay, didn't know if Logan was going to get a shout out.
Yeah, he gets a shout out. He tried.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with Trey. Yeah, at Jacksonville State.
Yeah.
I went to visit there out of high school. So
did you?
Yeah, I did.
Jaguars?
They just had won the D2 championship like in 92 or 93. So I went there on a visit before I went to Arkansas State and a couple of more schools.
That's interesting. Logan Smothers, I don't think he might have started a game or two there, but he never got full starting responsibilities. Now Gavin Wimsatt, if you remember, the former Rutgers quarterback, transferred to I think the Kentucky or somewhere last year. Now off to Jack State. So we'll see what they can do.
All right, Miles Farmer, former free safety.
Yes.
Transferred to Syracuse. Don't know how his last year went there. Lorenzo Hicks, back in the 80s, early 90s player. Yeah. Chris Jones.
Okay, yeah. One of the, I would say, somewhat forgot about defensive backs as a standout defensive back for the last decade.
Bobby Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrone Bird.
Okay, there you go.
We're going to the mid-90s now. All Big 8. Husker Hall of Famer, free safety.
Was he the same year you were?
Yes.
Tyrone Bird? That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer, Tyrone Williams, 2-time national champion. Ex-Green Bay Packer, played winning the third round to the Packers, won a Super Bowl with them right after, he won 2 national titles with Nebraska, so his jury is clean.
He was on top of the world there
for
a
yeah.
second. He was really good. Yeah, I remember him.
All Big 8, 2 national champions, great cornerback, shutdown corner, as we must say. All right, Bock, we go to the best in school history. We had him on the show probably 2-3 months ago, running back out of Birmingham, Alabama.
I like
Amir Abdullah.
That's right.
2011 through 14. Second all-time leading rusher here at the University of Nebraska. Will be a Hall of Famer here. Great guy. Great work ethic. Still playing in the league. I think he's with San Francisco. Got hurt in the preseason game, but we hope you get better and hope you continue to thrive and show young. He came here and became friends with Emmett Johnson, try to help him out with Amon Green. There's nothing wrong with old guys giving young guys pointers, especially if this old guy is in the NFL, still running, probably still the last running back in his class, Bock, to still be in the NFL. So you really got to look at that point, his long durability to play in the NFL.
Sure.
Just a great all-around guy, Bob.
Yeah. He's been a pleasure to have on when we have had him on. Just you could tell, very smart guy. I know he's kind of dipped his feet into acting. I think he might kind of get back into that. And he's just got a whole plan of his post-NFL career that I can't wait to see what it is. Now, like you said, hopefully that doesn't mean this year, as I think he's 32 years old. Season-ending injury out of the preseason in his first year with the 49ers. Unfortunate because I would have loved to see, if he would have been able to be their top backup running back or, of course, get some playing time there behind Christian McCaffrey. Would have been a lot of fun. Like you said, hopefully he can get better, get back to action next year in the NFL, but we'll see what kind of the future holds there. But as far as, the number 8 for Nebraska, you mentioned some other names that are good and definitely deserve to be mentioned here, but Amir Abdullah has kind of taken that jersey. If you see a number 8 Husker jersey, I think that's what a lot of people think of. Of course, finished, I think, second as all-time rushing yards, only behind Mike Rozier, a few hundred, less than 200. And as he said when he came on air here at times, he thought maybe if he was left in some of those games, maybe he would have been able to get to that career rushing record. But I think if we think of just the elite players at Nebraska, he's definitely among them. And if you think of the elite players recently, although it's getting further and further away now, more than a decade since he's been on campus, his name is often brought up. So you can't go wrong with Amir Abdullah. Tyrone Williams, I think, is a name too that maybe sometimes gets a little bit lost as far as when we talk about the top cornerbacks. of all time. I know when we do our drafts at times, you do a good job usually of snagging him up and making sure as your teammate that, a guy that you could trust out there at cornerback. A few other names I'd throw at you. Stanley Morgan. Of course, we mentioned him yesterday. But as number 8, he did wear number 8. Deshaun Singleton, of course, current number 8 for Nebraska. Deontay Williams, I thought, made a pretty good hard-hitting safety there a couple years ago with Markel Dismuke. And then Andrew Shanley, another name. It's a popular safety name. So I just want to throw some of those out there as well.
All right, Bock, let's clear the air. Let's clear the air.
Okay.
Auburn has done something very despicable, I think.
Okay.
If every team did what Auburn did, there'd be 3,000 national champions. To let people in knowing what's happening with Auburn claims 7 national titles, Bob.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, it's a lot of them.
If teams claim titles like Auburn, Bock, national championship all time. You ready for it?
Yeah.
23 national champions, Alabama.
Yeah, that might be pretty close to that anyway.
22, Notre Dame. 18, Ohio State. 17, Michigan, OU, and UC and USC. Nebraska would have 11, Bock, if we claimed every national championship that we might as well now.
Yeah.
We're 11-time national title. If
Sure.
Auburn can do it, Bock, we could do it.
We could.
Pittsburgh, 11. Auburn, 9. Miami, 9. Minnesota, 9. LSU, 9. Texas, 9. FSU, 8. Georgia, 8. Georgia Tech, 7. Penn State, 7. Tennessee, 7.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, because they went back and for those that didn't see, I mean, they went back and claimed 1910. I don't know. I have all the numbers in front of me, but of course that was more of the kind of the regionally playing, and so they had teams that would go 6-0-1 or 7-0 or whatever, and some of those teams, who knows if the college football would have been as big as it was or a national sport back then, it would have been fun to kind of put them together and see what could have happened. Of course, it took us a long time in college football to get a playoff out of it, so I wouldn't even say that much. But yeah, so I think it's kind of silly. Auburn's athletic director kind of came out and said it's kind of embracing the tradition that they had at Auburn. But like you said, Nebraska could do it. There's a lot of teams that could go back and say, well, maybe we didn't necessarily win a national championship, because most of these are AP coaches poll. That's kind of the way you go about it. And then back in the day, there was UPI or some other polls that went out there. And I don't even know if these unclaimed titles that they're now claiming had ties to them as far as any publication giving them a title, because usually that's where you get into the unclaimed territory. But Auburn's doing a lot of things. I think they're also going to retire Cam Newton's jersey, his number 2. Nobody's worn that since he's left. They're doing a lot of things off the field, but keep in mind, it might be an all distraction not to pay too much attention on the field. Hugh Freeze going into his 3rd year there. They're going to need to break out. And even their coordinator situation is interesting. We talked about this, I think, with Austin brought it up, is they've got a different coordinator for 3rd downs. So they're going to have their offensive coordinator call out the first couple plays, and then once it gets to 3rd down, that's when, this 3rd down coordinator takes over. Again, not the worst job as far as somebody planning ahead and trying to get ready for 3rd down, but to usually that's kind of the job of an analyst or somebody else that you've got on staff. They've got a specific play coordinator for that. So I think it's kind of interesting. We'll see. Maybe Auburn surprises us all, but I keep going back to it. When I look at the gauntlet that is to run through the SEC, sometimes you just say Auburn and it passes as name. Like you say LSU, Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Florida. You're thinking, okay, yeah, that was a tough stretch. Auburn's not a tough stretch right now. We'll have to see. They're going to have to. Jackson Arnold, remember the transfer in from Oklahoma? Not all that impressive there. He might argue he didn't really have too much to work with. We'll see. I'm not sure. I think college football is better when Auburn's a little bit better, but I'm not holding my breath this year.
Bock, in 1914, 1958, Auburn was selected as champions by the Montgomery, Alabama full season sector and the Howell rankings.
Okay.
Which both are minorly acknowledgeable computer ranking systems.
Well, one of them's from Alabama, so that's
that's
a state
void.
champion. Yeah, you can't claim that one.
Yeah, in 1993, the last of the newly claimed national titles of the Poland area, Auburn went 11-0.
Yeah.
And was ranked first by the National Championship Foundation. A minor. You was on probation. You didn't even play in the SEC championship. You didn't play in the national championship. So how would you consider yourself champions after only playing 11 games?
Didn't they claim 2003 as well, where they didn't make the champ, or 2004, excuse me, where they weren't selected for the BCS championship, but they were undefeated. I could see that argument, but in 1993, also going undefeated, like you're saying, there were reasons they weren't selected for that. So I don't know. We always talk about looking through rose-colored glasses around here for Nebraska. Whatever their colors are, blue and orange. I don't know exactly what shade, but they're certainly looking at history through Auburn glasses there.
Do you think Auburn could have beat their USC team?
I would have been interested to see it. I mean,
what about the Oklahoma team?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately USC blew out Oklahoma that year, so they obviously would think they'd have a pretty good chance there. Remember, Jason Campbell didn't have the best NFL career, but was an NFL starter for quite some time. Ronnie Brown, Cadillac, Williams, and I think even Peyton Hills might have been on that team. They had a lot of talent.
Trey Smith.
Would have loved to see it.
Trey Smith was the other running back.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Number 22.
That's right.
Yeah. But, if we went around here claiming Bock, we should go ahead and take the little national title board down and add 13 more. No, 11 more.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky business in claimed and unclaimed titles. And again, that's why the college football playoff maybe more than anything clears a lot of things up is, there's no more this or that, claims. And so that kind of helps because even, as we all know, Central Florida claimed the 2017 championship that Scott Frost helped them to their undefeated season where they beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl. But there was legitimately a championship game, a college football playoff championship game that's how we dictate our champions. And yet still, someone wants to go outside that and say they've got a championship just because they weren't allowed in. In fact, I've seen a buzz, and I don't know how close this would be to happening, but Florida State might want to claim that title where they were left out of the playoffs despite being undefeated. Remember, they finished that year, I think it was like, I don't even remember the score, like 50-3 or something. It was awful against Georgia by the time they got to that bowl game. I don't necessarily can entirely blame them, but remember from then on, 2-10 last year, I always think that might have derailed their program a little bit because, what else are you supposed to do but go undefeated? Obviously, we know the Jordan Travis injury, so the eye test and all that kind of come into play. People thought Florida State wouldn't have been able to compete at that point, but I will always feel a little bit for the Seminoles that they didn't get that opportunity.
But they lost their quarterback.
They're undefeated.
They got beat 60 to what? Would you want to see that in a bowl game?
Remember, they had a lot of guys sitting out.
Even if they did make it, Bock, they would have still lost.
I wouldn't say that.
They barely won the ACC championship.
I would like to see Jared. They were undefeated. You had an expanded playoff. The rule in college football should have been.
There's no rule.
And
you make
why
up your
they
own rules,
expanded
Bock.
that. Well, they do. They make up their own rules from year to year. But the rule should have been is if you're undefeated Power 4 team and you've got an expanded playoff. It's not like I'm talking about 2 spots here. They kept them out, put a 1-loss Alabama in, maybe because they thought it'd be a little bit more competitive. But Florida State, more than anything, deserved to play that out and get a championship opportunity. So I don't even blame them if they claim it.
All right, Bock, I'll let you have that one, Bock. All right, Bock, college football ranking schedule will be released weekly. Release the weekly ratings starting November 4th, 12-team playoff. Bracket will be announced December 7th. Hopefully we will be in the discussion of that talk right there. When we come back, Bock, I want to know if Jeremiah Smith is the biggest non-quarterback superstar in college football. I'm going to tell you why, Bock, because I looked at something the other day, and he's more popular than anybody in college football, even Dylan Raiola, even Arch Manning.
Well, now you're throwing some words out there.
All right, 93.7 The Ticket, Bock and the Black Shirt. We'll be right back.
Limitless Male says it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop.
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Harvest season is coming, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade for this year's harvest. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends August 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Link to Literacy's 3rd annual Wordstock event will be at Antelope Park on Saturday, August 23rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a community book swap festival with fun for the entire family and for all ages. Enjoy food trucks, kids activities, a reading corner with celebrity narrators, including Brian Helton, President and CEO, Director of Parks and Recreation, UNL athletes, and more. And of course, free books for all kids and adults. Go to linktoliteracy.org to get the full story and then make your plans to attend Wordstock.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. You're listening to Bock in the Black Shirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. Bock in the Black Shirt here from your 1 to 3 hour, and we are powered
by
Bauer
Infrastructure
Bauer
Underground
Brad.
Excavating.
All right, Bock, in a perfect little world, in everybody's head, Nebraska scores on the first play of the game.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah.
I would love to see Emmett take it up the hole and bust out there down the sideline for 80 yards.
Absolutely.
Or even Ja'Cory Barney on a reverse.
Yes.
Take it to the house.
Or Dylan just chucking it deep.
Or that's it. And Dane Key just falls in the end zone. But there's a different type of superstar in college football right now. When I talk about this young man, I caught a glimpse of him at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Okay.
And it looks like a Black Friday sale. I'm talking about the old Black Fridays, not the new Black Fridays. I'm talking about the old days when you get trampled over and there's fights in there and everything. But Jeremiah Smith is a rock star. And when I say this, Bock, he had thousands of people in Dick's Sporting Goods lined up for him to give autographs and take pictures with. Great kid, great athlete. Probably one of the best non-quarterback athletes we probably going to see in college football for probably one more year.
Yeah, it's interesting. I remember last year too, and keep in mind they played 16 games, so some of these stats, you just keep that in mind. But 76 receptions, 1,315 yards, and 15 touchdowns as a freshman. Of course, goes 6'3", 225. It's going to be exciting to see what he can do if he can build on last year. And it's not, Will Howard, again, good quarterback, but it's not like he had, sometimes Ohio State has just been, lucky to have all these all-stars back there. And Will Howard, again, a national championship quarterback, but maybe not to the level we'll see. Maybe Julian Sain can rise to. We'll have to wait and see. But it certainly won't hurt to have Jeremiah Smith out there. So yeah, I mean, I can definitely believe it, especially in the national championship craze, from this past year, that he is, he's more popular than anybody, when you get to Columbus near the Horseshoe.
All right, Bock, he signed with Adidas. He signed with Nintendo. He signed with Red Bull. He's with American Eagles Outfitters, Mark Wahlberg Auto Group, and he just signed with Beats by Dre. According to his impressive NIL valuation, Bock, $4.2 million ranks him third among college athletes. Receiver.
Yeah, that's not so bad.
Yeah, last year they was all quarterbacks.
Yeah.
4.2.
So I got to ask, do you have the other two ahead of him?
Should be
Sir
Arch
is
Manning and David Beck. What's that? Carson Beck?
Carson Beck. Okay.
Carson Beck, yeah. So that's according to On 3. I named my son Jeremiah. I think I picked the wrong Jeremiah out of the bunch. But I'll keep him though. But yeah, Arch Manning is at $6.8 million. Carson Beck, 4.3.
Okay, so he's barely ahead of Jeremiah Smith.
Barely. 4.2 for Jeremiah, AJ, who is this? This a prep kid?
That's probably the BYU basketball player.
4.1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the number 1 recruit going in.
Quarterback from LSU, 3.8. Let's see the complete list, Bob.
I was gonna say maybe you can find Dylan on there. I think he's top 25, at least for their valuations. But yeah, I mean it's interesting though too, because when you throw those numbers out and the top numbers is well below 10. I think last year Shedeur was pretty close to 10 million.
Yeah. He don't need the money. I mean, it's just amazing to me how a guy who's a receiver. I mean, I think Ja'Cory Barney should be up there when you talk about great receivers. Just guys that names should be on that leaderboard. And I promise you, Dylan Real is he's 20.
Okay, top 20.
2.3.
Yeah, not a bad living.
Not bad. Nico is at 20. Yeah, but when I say this, though, Bob, when you talk about all these endorsements they get, now he just signed with Beats by Dre, which I love Beats by Dre. He for sure going to be the number 1 pick when he come out.
You got to think so. Now, there's always teams reaching for quarterbacks, so who knows? But I mean, he's definitely probably should be. We'll see again. That's what I'm excited about, to have that dominating of a freshman year. And we always kind of go through the Herschel Walkers, the Maurice Clarett's, the Adrian Petersons, the special years. And again, those are all running backs. Jeremiah Smith should be right up there when we talk about dominating freshman years at the college level. Can he build on that, right? I mean, they're used to having those type of receivers. Of course, Marvin Harrison Jr. Just out the gate not too long before that. Olave and Jackson Smith and Jigba and Garrett Wilson. And, the names just kind of keep going on and on there from Ohio State. Can he build on that? I mean, it's hard enough. I mean, you kind of just think about the competition there to be the best among that group in just a 5-year span at Ohio State. I mean, you could be the best in the nation and maybe still not quite live up to that. So I'm excited to see what he does, how he builds upon it. We know almost by heart with their first 2 games this year. It's gonna be right out of the gate. Can you get it done against Texas? Can you defeat the number 1 team? You're the champion. You're playing at home. A lot of new pieces in there, including, as we know, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. Can they get that done? And then we'll see. We'll just see how long he plays against Grambling. We'll put it that way.
Oh, he's gonna have 500 yards against Grambling. I'm sorry, Mickey, but
I don't know if he plays 2 full quarters.
Yeah, he probably he'll have 100 in the first.
Yeah, that's usually
unless you drop your safety 25 yards deep. So I don't know if they'll do that. But Bock, how early is recruiting? How early is to give a scholarship for you?
Too early?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they're not necessarily binding. So it's not.
Would you go out your way right now to give out a scholarship for class of 2031?
I mean, if I think I saw LeBron as an 8th grader, I might. I think you have to be that level of a special talent, though, to really be able to see it at that point.
All right. 2031 athlete Drayton Hester has been offered a scholarship by Miami.
Hester. I recognize that name. Miami.
Yeah, he's the son of Devin Hester, the legend.
Okay. Makes a little more sense.
He received a phone call the other day from Coach Monty Cristobal, and he was offered a scholarship.
Is he? So he's what, 11 years old?
He's 2031, Bock. That's 6 years from now. Yeah. So he has to be in the 6th grade.
Well, I mean, if he can return his punts like his father, then yeah. I mean,
6th grade,
might
Bock?
show it off.
Come on,
that's
Bock.
a little too early. But
come on,
that's why I said
this kid could gain 300 pounds.
Well, it's not binding. You can pull the scholarship anytime.
Well, what if he commits?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he can officially commit before his junior year, right?
I don't know. Some people been committed since they were sophomores. You get a hint?
I don't know. I think until you sign the papers, I don't think it's binding. The commits are verbal commits, right? So, yeah, it is what it is. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's more show than anything. I thought that might have been the case with Dayton. When they offered Dayton, I think he was like an 8th grader. And looked the part. He kind of looked like I don't want to be mean or anything, but he just kind of looked like a typical 8th grader. And then, of course, we've seen him blossom into the quarterback he is today, now playing out ESPN and stuff. But yeah, I mean, so some of these offers are definitely a little bit early, and I think more often than not they're going to legacy kids. But that makes sense.
All right, Bock. Now, looks like your boy's in trouble, Bock.
Uh-oh.
Jake Paul. You see who he's fighting?
I did see that.
Is he crazy?
He is a little bit crazy. I mean, remember, he's officially a boxer now, but this is still another exhibition.
Yeah. Tank Davis.
Yeah.
Tank's going to knock him out. Tank is not going to fall for that.
Now, Gervonta's not very big, right?
He doesn't have to be big. He packs a powerful punch, Bock.
I'm just saying, I think as far as weight class, this is not the same weight class.
Yeah, I don't know. What, Jake's about 200?
Yeah, let me look it up. Because Gervonta is only, 5'5". What's he fight at?
Probably 140, 150, 138. Who knows?
Yeah. Because that's interesting. I'm all for it. I mean, this is like you said, Jake Paul is trying to get to be
He's 5'5", 133.
133. Okay, let me look at Jake Paul.
He's 6'1", 199, 200 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it a little bit more interesting, I suppose. We'll see. I mean, they don't have to get in the same weight class for the exhibition ring match.
Why would you fight a guy that you're 60 pounds, way more than Bob?
Yeah. So this is set for a Netflix type of fight.
Yeah.
Which was announced here just within the last couple hours. It was kind of funny. As the news came in, Anthony Lionheart Smith was in studio with DP, and of course he's having so much experience in the UFC, but he just kind of looked it up, and he was talking about earlier in that show about dropping weight and all that and getting ready for weigh-in, and he just said, "Is this real? This can't be real," because there is such a difference there. But again, Jake Paul has been kind of fighting his way up further into guys that could be deemed professional, and after that last fight was kind of moved more into the professional rank. But this is different again, and so some reaction from this has been pretty surprising, and boxing purists aren't going to love it, but it's the Jake Paul way. I mean, this is the celebrity boxing tour he's been on.
When he fight his brother, I mean, that'll be more fun for him. He can't keep fighting these little guys and think that we're going to give him respect in the boxing world by fighting guys he's 60 pounds bigger than, 5-7 inches bigger than. I mean, Mike Tyson, you paid him to bite his glove.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to knock him out quickly. And I think Davis might do it.
Could be. I mean, you're gonna think of those smaller guys usually can get the quicker punches in, so it'll be a different type of fight for Paul to kind of prepare for. And I hate to say it because again, boxing, purists hate this sort of thing, but it's set for November 14th. I'll tune in. I'm interested. I want to see what it looks like. Just even the difference in size there and how good, obviously, Davis's career has been. There's a lot of intrigue to that match to me. I'm sorry to say it. Will you watch it? Would you be interested?
I'll probably watch it just to see him get knocked out. That's the only part of that about watching that I would watch, because he's not a boxer to me. I'm tired of Jake Paul. I'm tired of his little antics. He need to be fighting somebody like Charleston White or somebody.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he obviously makes pretty good money doing what he's doing, so I can't blame him. And he's done well. 12 fights so far, 7 wins by knockout, just 1 loss. So it's been entertaining enough.
All right, Bock. USC, DJ Wingfield and USC Caden Robinson denied 5th-year eligibility in the court ruling. Both of these guys were reportedly to be starters for both teams. DJ Wingfield was an offensive lineman, and receiver was Caden was a wide receiver. Both, they were shot down by the judge about. I guess they played the eligibility out.
Yeah, I'd have to look a little bit more into that their specific circumstance, but
but they was
I don't
offered
know.
money though, Bock. I mean, USC offered Wingfield $210,000 in NIL. USC built a $450,000 package for Robinson. Wingfield was on a track to start on the Oge's offensive line, and Robinson had a chance to be one of the Brewers' top receivers.
Yeah, it's tough to get that news at this point.
Well, when you go to court and they tell you no, that means no. So
It's always interesting. Again, it's just kind of the same thing. It always feels like a dartboard on who gets eligibility, who doesn't. Just throwing darts.
yeah, especially they was trying to get the same thing that Diego Pavo got. So that didn't work. We'll have to see if they'll go back to court for that one and see how things go. Take it out of here, Bock.
All right, listen to Bock in the Black Shirt here on a Window World Wednesday. Todd is out today, but we did want to give him in Window World a shout out. We'll be back right after these messages.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Nebraska football opens their season on Thursday, August 28th in Kansas City, and you can be a part of the best pregame tailgate party with Blur Events, live from Kauffman Stadium, home of the Royals. Doors open 4 hours before kickoff with a live DJ promoting interactive competitions and giveaways. Tailgate games like cornhole, flip cup, and beer pong, access to ballpark concessions, and available air conditioning. Book your tickets today at blurevents.com/Kansas City and hang with 93.7 The Ticket on the scene prior to Nebraska versus Cincinnati on August 28th.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Go hog wild, pit barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. Patchy fog possible this morning. A slight chance of rain this afternoon. Otherwise, should see mainly sunny skies with a high around 90. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, a low around 66. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies and light variable winds with a high around 88. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's schwisow.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today.
getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OakStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
Oak Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock and the Blackshirt here from your 1 to 3 hour. Bock, I want to ask you a question from the Big Ten huddle right here. They're talking about in 2025, what Big Ten defense will be better or worse. I'm going to ask your opinion in it. Starting off with Illinois, will they be better or worse in 25?
Well, Brett Bielema, obviously, it's a big deal for his teams usually to compete. I think that they've got potential. I'm still kind of looking at the other side of the ball and wonder if Lynn Meyer can kind of lead that charge a little bit more without his 2 wide receivers. So I think the defense will have to step up. They're pretty salty last year. That's a tough one. That is a tough one out of the gate. What did they say?
Better.
Okay, yeah.
Indiana, better or worse than last year?
Well, that one's definitely tough for them. Obviously, the schedule gets a little bit more difficult, and I don't think people realize how good Indiana's defense was last year. They do return some really good players. I don't think the numbers will be quite as good, but I mean, they were like a top 5, top 10 unit last year. So even if they're a top 15 unit, that's technically worse. But they've got, Kamara coming off the edge. You've got maybe all Big Ten players at every level. So I would say worse, but it's not by a big margin.
All right, Bob. Better or worse than last year? Now, I can give you the question on that. They lost a lot of guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying worse. This says better. But
wow,
to lose the linebackers they lost, the DBs, the defensive line they always have. I don't think they can be better than last year.
I don't think so either. Phil Parker is probably the best defensive coordinator in the nation, or right up there with them, because, I mean, what he's done there, as we know at Iowa with less talent, we'll see. Xavier Nwampa goes, and he was one of the few 5-stars able to bring in. He goes to his senior year. Maybe he'll have to step up and be that guy, but you're right. I mean, they just lost so much last year. They've been able to kind of restock there in Iowa City. And so again, it's kind of similar to Illinois. Or Indiana, excuse me. I wouldn't expect a huge drop off one way or the other. But I don't think they're going to be better just because the personnel, like Jay Higgins last year, was at kind of the primary, I guess, player that Nebraska fans know as, was kind of clapping back at Matt Rule and Nebraska for not shaking hands pregame. But he was a heck of a linebacker one way or the other. Connor Shute. I mean, they just lost a lot of guys.
All right, Bock. Next one, Maryland. Better or worse? I say they got to be better than they was last year, Bock.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. It's I'm not overly confident that it's going to get there. I'm not sure. I've kind of been watching that Maryland job for years to see if they can kind of maintain it there. But I mean, remember, their head coach went to Big Ten Media Day and said he lost control of that team at one point due to some of the NIL stuff going on. The defense was a big struggle last year. I think it will be again.
All right, Bock, Michigan, better or worse than last year? Do you want theirs first?
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what they say.
Worse than last year.
Yeah. Well, they lose a lot of names too, but they did off the previous defense. It's going to be a defensive-led team. Obviously, we know they are our buddies from Ann Arbor come into Lincoln, and they're going to have something to prove there. But I don't know. I mean, they played without a lot of those guys in the Alabama game. We're still able to shut that offense down pretty well. So yeah, these Big Ten. It's kind of fun to do this because the Big Ten a lot of times they're just dominating defenses, and sometimes that's because the offenses they face aren't all that good. But when you look at the numbers, these defenses are really good, and it's kind of the same thing with Michigan. Again, I expect the top 15 defense once again is going to be worse than last year. Maybe if it is marginally, there's similar to Iowa, a lot of personnel questions going on.
Well, in this list, Bob, out of how many teams we got? 18?
18. Yeah.
Only 5 of them got worse.
Okay.
So, Michigan State, they got them better.
Yeah, they're kind of in the Maryland conversation. They just need to get better, in kind of in year two under John L. Smith, but they hopefully will get better.
All right, Bock, Minnesota, better or worse? They have them better.
Wow, they have them better. That's interesting too. Coy Parrish is incredible. Maybe one of the better, all-around players in the league. And they've got some talent around them. They've always got good linebacker names recruiting out of there in Minnesota. So yeah, I mean, I could see that being a little bit better.
All right, Bock, let's go to break. And when we come back, we'll continue the better or worse with Nebraska up next.
Ooh.
Here on Bock and the Black Shirt on 93.7 The Ticket.
Go hog wild, pit barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at gohogwild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products, Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Old School with Foreman and Orman.
Any tips for a dad who just volunteered to be a YMCA flag football coach less than a week before the season started because no one else had volunteered to coach the fifth graders up to that point?
Tylenol for your headache.
Put some in your cup. Put some in your cup, and make sure your contract is 1 year only.
Medicate, bro.
Frank Reich. Frank Reich at Stanford.
Yep.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley.
Terrell Farley.
Terrell Farley. Defending Terrell Farley.
Who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock in the Black Shirt here on your 1 to 3 hour, and we are ready for hour number 2. Bock, this week they call it move-in week. A lot of kids are arriving back on campus. Lincoln is getting packed up again, and the streets will be full on Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, Bock.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was driving home. I always kind of go through campus, and there's a lot of people lifting out there in the sun, and it was a hot day yesterday. Hopefully it's a little cooler today, but yeah, you got to get it done, I guess, one way or the other.
Yeah, this is probably the type of the part of the year you want to have stock in U-Haul for a week or two.
There you go.
You know, a lot of U-Haul vehicles are ripping up and down the city and on campus and all around town. You see a lot of kids moving back. Congratulate the kids on their new school year and new football year coming up, and volleyball. They announced the captains, Bock. Do you got them?
Yeah, they did. So Nebraska captain, of course, Nebraska starts off the season this weekend with Pittsburgh, number 3 Pittsburgh, number 1 versus number 3 Pittsburgh on Friday at the AVCA First Serve competition they're bringing to Pinnacle Bank Arena. They also play Stanford on Sunday, number 6 Stanford. So 2 top 10 matchups to start right out of the gate for number 1 Nebraska. But you're right, they've got their captains nailed down now. Senior Rebecca Alec is one of the 3. Bergen Riley, a junior, and then Andy Jackson, a junior. So interesting as to kind of go about who's picked there. But obviously, those are 3 big names in Nebraska volleyball, so makes some sense.
All right, Bock. Volleyball is here, and one of the most recognizable programs around the country in volleyball. First year without John Cook. We see how things go for the new coach there, and good luck to the girls on their season.
Yeah, and I mean, especially when you open out the gate against that level of competition. I remember again going back to John Cook saying, these giant conferences and playing in the Big Ten, which is more what he's talking about is playing in the Big Ten with all these, a loaded conference, a big volleyball conference. It's gonna be hard to go undefeated. So they might not come through the weekend unscathed. I wouldn't be too worried about it right out of the gate. But hopefully they don't. Hopefully they can get this thing going with a bang. It's a huge volleyball celebration. If you don't know, the AVCA first serve event has many other top teams in here. Creighton, in fact, number 12 entering the season, will be playing in this thing as well. It's just going to be a lot of fun. The eyes of the volleyball nation are on Lincoln, Nebraska, which happens from time to time, and it's here again this weekend.
All right, Bock, let's continue on with our better or worse defenses in the Big Ten coming up this year. All right, Bock, let's see where we want to start at. Wisconsin. I'm gonna keep you on. I'm gonna keep you on hold, Bock, with this one. Wisconsin, better or worse? They have them better.
And they might be. Again, this is one of those things where you kind of look at a few different things there. Obviously, Nebraska was able to get what they needed to done against Wisconsin. Wisconsin this year is going to go into more of what they're planning on, going back to more of a ground-heavy group on offense, which should allow the defensive numbers to improve, right? If you kind of care a little bit more about time of possession and whatnot for Luke Fickle and them. But I got to say it. That schedule is brutal. Their defense is going to have to be really good to kind of get through that thing. So if it's better, I think it's going to be marginally.
All right, Washington, Bock. Better or worse than last year? They got them better.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. A lot of the hype coming out of Seattle is behind their quarterback and the offense that they've got going there. So we'll see. Yeah, some complementary football would help out the Huskies this year as they try to move up the Big Ten.
All right, Bock, USC, can they be better or worse last year in defense? I say better. The Big Ten huddle says better.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, they obviously, again, it's never a question about talent out there at USC. Sure glad we were able to pick a cornerback up from their backyard. Probably going into this year as the best one for Nebraska and Sierra Wright. So, yeah, I mean, the talent's there. Lincoln Riley's system, obviously, not always protective of that defense, but it was a disaster under Alex Grinch to begin with. Now you kind of get into, I think, the second year of the new defensive coordinator.
All right, Bock, UCLA, they got them worse than the last year. They did lose a couple of that first round linebacker they lost. Probably spent more time on offense this off season than anything to get the offense going. But I can say they probably can be better than what they think.
Yeah, I could see that too. Like you said, a lot of it, the focus again on offense and Nico Iamaleava, and as well it should be. That offense last year, again, did well enough against Nebraska. That was part of the frustrating loss, part of the reason, I think some changes were made after that. But UCLA's offense was a big problem last year. The defense was holding the Bruins into a lot of games. So I would say probably about even expectations. But with some help a little bit more on the offense, again, I think that can help improve some of those defensive numbers.
All right, Bock, I'm going to switch it back up to the ends. Did I say Northwestern already?
I don't think so.
Northwestern, better and worse than last year? I say better.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see with Northwestern. Of course, Nebraska is on the schedule for the Wildcats. They are kind of in a lot of these teams, defensive led, their offensive struggled. Northwestern was in that category. So they're going to need them to step up similar to a lot of these teams. The hope is if the offense gets a little bit better, it kind of help the defense stay off the field a little bit longer. And so a similar thought process there with the Wildcats.
All right, Bock, defense for Nebraska. Are they going to be better than worse than last year? The Big Ten huddle guys say worse.
Ooh.
I'm going to pause on that one because I want to ruffle any feathers. But I'm just saying, Bock, that defensive line has to be up to par for this defense to succeed for me.
Yeah, it's it better or worse. It's going to be different, right? I think we know that. The strength of last year's kind of big men up front, really tough to run against. Nebraska again, one of the few teams not just last year, but that we've seen of recent, not to allow a rushing touchdown at any of their home games. That's a heck of a stat. You take that every year going in. I don't know, and that's the big question. Can they keep it up on rush defense? They do think that they've got more talent coming from the perimeter. They think they've got a better pass rush than maybe they've had in previous years, from that jack linebacker position. So we'll see. I mean, you've got plenty of experience and depth back there at linebacker and in the defensive backs. Like you said, the questions remain up front. I think those guys can be good, but asking them to be Ty and Nash out of the gate is probably asking a little bit much. I would lean toward a little bit worse, but I don't think it necessarily has to be a significant step back.
Bock, you're going to get it on the text line. All right, Bock. Ohio State defense, can it be worse or better than last year? I'll go first for you on this one, Bock. They lost a lot of starters. I don't see it being better than last year. It's more of a show and tell type of defense that you have a great safety back there who probably mans the defense better than anybody in the country, but you still have to pick up for the front seven that you lost mostly.
Yeah, and of course, a change at defensive coordinator too. Their national championship defensive coordinator off to Penn State, off to the competitor, and they bring in Matt Patricia, longtime defensive coordinator in the NFL, also a head coach at times. So we'll see. Sometimes there is a transition. There's still going to be one of the most talented defenses in the country. Caleb Downs might be the best defensive player in the country at safety. So, yeah, I mean, I would say a little bit worse just because you're comparing it to a national championship unit, like you said, that had a lot of star power all around it. But, kind of similar to some of these other teams, I wouldn't expect it to be a giant step back.
All right, Bob. Next one, Penn State. Better or worse than last year? They say better. I know you're going to say better.
Well, Abdul Carter's gone. Okay, so that's the big question. I'm not completely convinced. Now, they, again, like I just said, defensive coordinators, kind of messing around with that. You bring in a national championship defensive coordinator. They believe they've got the pieces there to replace Abdul Carter, but that's a big ask. And so I'm not as bought in on Penn State as the rest of the country is. So I'll actually say a little worse.
Yeah. All right, Bock. Purdue.
Nowhere to go but up for the Boilermakers.
Yeah. Same as Rutgers.
Yeah, now Rutgers is their defensive units are usually better than they were last year. And so expect that to return to form.
All right, Bock. SI preseason bowl predictions have blank playing Nebraska in the Citrus Bowl.
I'd like the Citrus Bowl, okay?
Yeah, at least we'd be warm.
Yeah.
That's a good part of it.
Well, and then I think myself and DP kind of ran through this and saw that's basically would be, kind of a ranking. I think that was last year, the Illinois game, where they got in. They're ranked like 20th going into that. So you'd be just outside of the playoff discussion. And yes, the goal is to make the playoffs. But, that would be a significant step forward for Nebraska football. I would love for Nebraska to be participants this year in the Citrus Bowl.
I didn't even tell you who he was playing.
I don't care who they're playing.
Yeah, you just
a step up from, and again, last year's bowl game, a step in the right direction, right? But there were 6-6 teams heading into that. I knew people that said, I'm going no matter what. I can't wait unless it's in New York. And they got to New York. So I think that would help if it's in Florida for more people to want to make that trip. Because, as well as Nebraska football fans do travel, that was not a full stadium, not a full Yankee stadium.
All right, Bob. Their pick to play the Florida Gators.
Ooh. Little rematch from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in the Citrus Bowl, but that would be I'd sign me up for that. Anytime Nebraska could play Florida, I'd be interested.
All right. So that's what they say about Nebraska. They'll be playing in the Citrus Bowl December 31st, Wednesday.
Mm.
All right. That's a good one, Bob. What you got there, Bob?
Yeah, so we've got plenty to get through. I did want to read this as it is important. Credible Mind plus overdose awareness here. The Lincoln Lancaster County Health Department has launched Credible Mind, a free confidential mental health platform at myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com. An overdose can happen right in front of you. Look for blue lips, slowed breathing, pinpoint pupils or unresponsiveness, these signs can be deadly. Credible Mind gives you tools and resources to be ready and protect those around you. So glad to shout out there. Of course, your mental health, always an important part
Got
of
one
your
more for
overall
you,
health.
Bob.
Go ahead.
Bada Bing. I'm not going to leave him out. He's been
Okay.
one of our good personnel on YouTube. He says, Blackshirt and Bock, if you were the coach and you were calling heads or tails on the coin flip at Arrowhead, are you picking offense or defense?
I'd pretty much always go with defense. I think there's a very rare times that you would pick offense. I mean, if you think you got an advantage, you want to get momentum right away. Maybe if you're an underdog going into the game and want to set the tone that way, I suppose, or try to get a lead in the very least to get some points on the board. But I would say about 90 to 95% of the time I start with defense so I can get offense going in the second half.
I would probably go, it depends who we playing. If I was playing a team like Michigan, I probably would want to get the ball first and go down there and see how I do. But early in the season, I'll not putting pressure, but I would want to go defense just to see how they match up well against other teams and see if we can. So the goal is to stop them from scoring on the first drive box. So if the defense was able to do that, they won. They won that first possession. So I think it depends who you play for the offense to come out second.
Well, and it'll be interesting, of course. One thing that if you're going to play in these games, and I don't know what Nebraska's going to average this year, but the last couple of years, average around 23, 24 points per game, is the battle beyond just the scoreboard, right? Is field positioning and getting yourself in a position to get those scoring opportunities. So it won't be necessarily a complete failure if Nebraska goes on offense and doesn't score, if you can kind of start to win the field position battle. And then, but on defense, it's kind of the same thing. If you can get a three and out the right away, you're going to give your offense some good field positioning. If they can kind of move it downfield, you get a stop, right? More than anything, that's important, but they pin you deep. Can get that going as well. So it'll be interesting one way or the other. Doesn't necessarily have to be points, although points are certainly more interesting out of the gate. But yeah, more often than not, I'm gonna put my defense out on the field and see what they can do. And by the way, I know there's the tails never fails crew, but I always go with heads.
Rock, paper, scissors for me.
Yeah, you wouldn't decide necessarily.
Yeah, I'm not. That's why I don't care about being a captain, because I don't care about flipping. I don't want to be the first person up there. I want to get ready and be focused for the game.
Yeah. Fair enough. So we'll see how that goes for Nebraska. A few responses too off the text line I wanted to get to. Bill and Bennett says the Huskers have to be better. He's talking about the receivers room is full of talent and should score a lot of points. No excuses for the entire offense this year, including Dylan Raiola. So we were kind of asking about the defense, but Bill and Bennett's so excited about the offense, he just had to go there. And then 5284 says, can Riley Van Poppel fill the void in the middle? And here's a good one for you, Blackshirt. Who will lead this team in tackles?
Ooh, that's a good one. Probably a linebacker or a safety. Probably either Marquise Trent or Shavers or Deshaun Singleton.
Yeah, not bad picks.
Not a bad pick.
I would go with Watson Trent based on his tackling, his just the resume that he brings to it. I mean, 3 straight years with 100+ tackles. Obviously, this is a step up in competition, but he's had more than 10 tackles at Memorial Stadium already. GBR Jeremy shows off YouTube, says Shavers, if he can live up to the potential, there's a lot of guys, a lot of questions and expectations coming into the year. Shavers is one of those guys. If he has a breakout season, could really help the guys around him. And that's, that's always the case, right? Especially on defense and especially in a game of football where there's so much is relying on your teammates, is if you get a few guys going, and it's almost held against you sometimes, Terrell, how good the players were around you. By certain folks will say, but it does help. I mean, if Shavers and Watson Trent can live up to the expectations here going into the season and play off of each other, that linebacker unit can certainly be dangerous. And of course, that's just 2 of the names. Javen Wright, obviously, we've heard Matt Rule call kind of a weapon on defense because he can guard the tight ends out of there. So that linebacker unit, lot of potential, a lot of excitement. I think, and like we know, the defense, the secondary has a lot of talented players coming back. Remember, Gifford has kind of led Nebraska in tackles, or been up there in team lead from that rover position the last couple of years. I don't think that's the same type. If Hartzog is going to be that guy, he obviously is a different type of player. So I don't know if you would get that same type of tackling production out of him, though you might.
Yeah, I mean, when Matt Rose talks about Javen, you talk about linebackers. That's their job, to cover the tight ends and running backs out of the backfield, and Javen does it so well. It's just the things that happened towards the end of the season last year that really kind of comes to mind when you talk about them type of things, because that back from the back was able to leak out against Iowa, and that probably destroyed the team hopes for going to a better bowl game or placing better in the Big Ten. But like I said, I mean, I think this linebacker crew is probably better than the last 2 or 3 linebacker crews we had here in the last 2 or 3 years. So that's a positive right there. The downside to it, that you lose a lot of guys on the defensive line, that you need somebody like Van Poppel to step up, or someone to, fill that void of the big guys from last year.
Absolutely. Off the text line, Old Dad's 34 says Nebraska just needs the boys up front to play decent football, and we win, in my opinion. So, that is kind of what we'll see here. The difference is obviously new defensive coordinator, pretty much the same type of scheme. So we'll kind of see what it looks like with Nebraska. And that's the question. They feel confident. They've been, Matt Rule said that's not what keeps him up at night, is the defensive line. I think you've got some good playmakers and guys that we've seen flashes from. Now it's their time to shine. So we will have to wait and see there. Let's move on. I wanted to get to this story because we did bring it up before. On Tuesday here, Arch Manning insisted that he's not plotting out how long he'll stay at Texas or whether he'll enter the NFL draft. This despite being his grandfather's recent prediction to Texas Monthly Magazine that he'll be a Longhorn through the 2026 season. Said, I don't know where he got that from, Arch Manning said in the meeting with reporters. He texted me to apologize about that. I'm just really taking it day by day right now. We talked about this when it came out, and you kind of figured the Mannings being close, that maybe there was some discussion going on there. But Arch had to shoot his grandfather down and said, hey, don't make that public. Don't make the expectation for me to be at Texas for the long haul if the opportunity is there maybe for him to be drafted near the top.
Yeah, Grandpa jumped on him early. Did either one, Peyton or Eli, leave early?
No, I don't believe so.
Well, it's just a little family tradition he's talking about right there.
That's a different day and age than when Peyton and Arch played, and certainly, Peyton and Eli, and certainly Archie. So I mean, I thought that was kind of a weird quote or a weird story to come out. And again, all of this before Arch Manning has started more than a handful of games at Texas, but he's quarterback number 1 for the number 1 team entering the season. So and more than anything, he's a Manning. So those expectations are going to be there. I thought that was pretty interesting. Let's stick with quarterbacks here. Got a few more quarterback stories. With Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson Sr.'s future now in flux following Tuesday's decision to name Daniel Jones as the starting quarterback for the Colts. Richardson's agent has reacted with disappointment, said he's unsure of his client's future with the Colts. Not exactly what you want to hear. You'd rather, take it in stride and say, maybe the opportunity still be there. Especially, I mean, you got to figure, that competition should be ongoing. Daniel Jones isn't necessarily walking in there as one of the top quarterbacks in the league. The agent did feel like as soon as Jones did sign that deal that he thought maybe the writing was on the wall, or at least they kind of already leaned toward Jones' way. If you're Richardson, maybe sometimes you do your messaging through your agent. Maybe you do want to sound like you're a little bit frustrated, but I would try to tell my agent to shut up.
Well, first of all, he's got to stop trying to be a rapper and be a football player, Bock. That's what Anthony Richardson has to do.
Yeah.
He rather rap and write lyrics and instead of rewrite the playbook and try to understand it a little bit better or get better. I mean, you got beat out by Danny Dime. So, that's not Danny's problem that he came in focused and won the position. You always have a chance to play. Quarterbacks get hurt every week. So, not saying it's the end, but when you do get the opportunity, you have to get in there and lead your team to a victory.
Yeah. So we'll see what kind of happens there as we close it out. I got a few more stories on quarterbacks. One I'll get to real quickly here. It's just that the Saints still haven't named their starting quarterback. Kellen Moore has said that Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler are both still competing. Said he wants to use this week to make their decision. They've got 3 days of practice and then their preseason game against the Broncos. So we'll see what the Saints end up doing. I've got another story about a former quarterback that used to give Nebraska some headaches that might be headed toward the broadcast booth in the near future. It's some baseball stats. We don't often get into baseball, but I love when we can kind of play with historical stats. And the Royals and Yankees have both given us the opportunity to do so. So we'll hit on those next.
All right. 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Seems like just the other day, I was building my first house. I've seen many changes to our building market in Lincoln. It's been a fun road.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
We hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness, and I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Tune in every Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. for the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters. Sit back and enjoy listening to Dr. Chatters discuss real stories involving struggle, inspiration, and real-life experiences with special guests and insights. Remember, the higher the pressure, the greater the lift. It's the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters every Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Old school with Foreman and Orman.
Any tips for a dad who just volunteered to be a YMCA flag football coach less than a week before the season started because no one else had volunteered to coach the 5th graders up to that point?
Tylenol for your headache.
Put some in your cup. Put some in your cup, and make sure your contract is 1 year only.
Medicate, bro.
Frank Reich. Frank Reich at Stanford.
Yep.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock and the Blackshirt here on your 1 to 3 hour. Bock, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Now, we know you tailgate. Not tailgate, but we know you go to games.
Yeah.
Do you cook week 0, or do you just wait for the next week to go tailgate?
Well, yeah, if you're really desperate and want to get back into it, I think you could. I want to check I don't know exactly what time because that game's in Ireland. I guess I don't even know what time. I need to plan my Saturday out. I think if the day's nice enough, I think you probably could.
All right, I think I got the dates right, the times right here. Come on.
Farmageddon, Iowa State.
11 a.m.
Okay.
Then you have another one Saturday. I think this is Idaho State versus UNLV.
All right. Yeah, I like the Rebels.
I don't think this one is for us. No, we only have 2 games that day. That's the 20 what? 6, 20 what? What is that?
So that would be the 23rd.
23rd. Yeah, we're only going to have 2 games. Then you come back on that Thursday night. The 28th. When is the 28th, Bob? Well, we play on the 20th.
So the 28th is Thursday. Yeah, that's our night.
So Boise State plays on the 28th also. They play at 4:30. Missouri plays on the they play at 6:30. And then we play at 8:30, I think. 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we got the nightcap at 8 o'clock on ESPN.
That's gonna be a long game.
It could be. It's going to be a long night.
Yeah, that's gonna be like done at 11:30, 12 o'clock.
Yeah, and it could be interesting even in the Big Ten that night because as you mentioned, I mean, Ohio at Rutgers starts it off for Big Ten action on Thursday at 5. Ohio's always a pretty darn good MAC team, and who knows with Rutgers going in there. You've also got Buffalo at Minnesota. Minnesota's a lot expected out of them. Again, Buffalo is a pretty good MAC team as well. and then Miami of Ohio at Wisconsin. So a lot of these teams opened up on Thursday night against MAC teams, and among those, it could be maybe an upset.
Yeah, Fresno State, Kansas plays at 5:30 on Saturday. 2366 says. Gus Mohawk says, if you have a good defense, what position should have the most tackles? Well, it depends what kind of defense you're in. Now, if you're in a 4-3 defense, the wheel linebacker, the weak side linebacker, mostly he's not accounted for, or he can miss, make people miss him. But mostly for Charlie McBride defense, the wheel was the most, probably the leading tackler. You go with Ed Stewart, who led the team in tackles 1 year. Then I came and led. I would have led in 96 if I wouldn't have got suspended. But I think the wheel mostly. And I don't too much know about the 3-3-5. We'll probably say the rover or one of the linebackers.
Yeah, I think generally a linebacker is going to be a pretty good answer there. Although defensive lineman, we saw Sue do it a couple times. That can be a good deal too, obviously, because if they're getting all the tackles, you got to imagine you have a pretty good run stopping, and they're not generally like running down the field on big plays and getting tackles. So Sue would. I'm just saying in general, it wouldn't be awful if maybe you'd had a defensive lineman lead your team in tackles. Not always great if a defensive back is leading your team in tackles. Obviously because when they are getting tackles, it's a lot of times getting passed on and down the field and they might be good in run support. I'm not saying they wouldn't be. It's just not ideal.
All right. Christian Coleman on YouTube. I don't know how this happened, Bock, but he says, I met one of my favorite musicians because I dropped Terrell Farley name in a bar in Queens, New York. Well, I never been to a bar in Queens, New York. I never been up that far in New York.
Yeah, that's a good starter. I think we want to know a little bit more, Christian, about that story. I like the start of it though. Who's the musician? What's the connection? I'm intrigued.
I don't know. I don't meet too. I used to hang with a couple of rappers back in my days.
Did you?
Yeah, more South rappers.
Yeah, Southern rappers.
I don't think you know JT Money. He's an old school rapper.
Okay.
He used to rap with the Poison Clans. I used to be in the club with him in Atlanta. Trey, who is that?
He said Desron Douglas, bass player for Trey Anastasia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Trey Anastasia maybe he's a fan of yours.
I don't know how that goes, Bock, but we'll take it.
Yeah. All right. A few stories I wanted to get to before we move on. Chase Daniel is set to join ESPN as a college football analyst. Chase Daniel was long known as one of the top backup quarterbacks in the NFL. He played from 2009 to 2022 and only started over what would that be? 13 plus seasons, only started 5 games. Now, Nebraska fans weren't necessarily did not like Chase Daniel because he had too much success against Nebraska. Their 2005 team beat Nebraska. He was the backup then, but to Brad Smith. But specifically the games that he started in 2006, Nebraska was able to beat Chase Daniel in their first game against him, a 34-20 win that year, featuring the top 2 teams in the Big 12 North. Nebraska would go on to represent the Big 12 North in the title game. Same thing would happen in the 2007-2008 game in the winner of this game, but Missouri would be the team that would represent the North in those title games. In 2007, of course, Nebraska's season derailed, and part of that was due to a 41-6 loss to Missouri. That day, Nebraska was number 25 going into the game. Missouri was number 17. This was the first loss of losing 6 of 7 down the stretch for the Huskers. So started a tough stretch for them, and 41-6, obviously, that kind of wakes you up. The next year, Bo Pelini's first year, not a whole lot better. 52-17 loss to number 4 Missouri. So Chase Daniel just had way too much success against Nebraska those days. If you remember, Jeremy Macklin, part of that group, Martin Rucker, Mike Rucker's brother, Chase Kaufman. They had quite some good teams there. So never the favorite player among Nebraska fans, but we'll see if Chase Daniel can do better than another least favorite Nebraska quarterback in Colt McCoy, who has struggled so far.
This text line is horrible, Bob.
What is that?
I don't know. 7592. I'm not going to read that one. Cigar guy says Chase is good on TV.
Yeah. 792 was basically disagreeing. So we'll see. Yeah, I think he could have some talent. We'll see how it works out. But
is it worse than is it worse than the basketball player at the elevator or something? Who was the basketball player name that got caught on camera?
Oh, I don't even remember.
Yeah, he was worse than Chase. He was digging for goal.
Oh yeah, picking his nose out there. So we'll see. But that's kind of a fun story to kind of follow along with as well. And then I wanted to get to some baseball stats because there are some interesting ones. First, of course, this is the 93.7 The Ticket, home of the Royals. Bobby Witt Jr. joined the elite company with his 100th career homer in a 5-2 win over Texas here yesterday night. It was his 100th career homer for Witt, making him the youngest in franchise history to reach that mark. Did it faster than Carlos Beltran did back in the 2003 season. The home run also made Witt only the fourth player with at least 100 homers and 100 stolen bases through his first 4 big league seasons. The others are Julio Rodriguez, Darryl Strawberry, and Bobby Bonds. So some elite company there for Bobby Witt. And then the Bronx Bombers lived up to the name once again yesterday. The Yankees, the first in Major League Baseball history with multiple 9 home run games in a season. Giancarlo Stanton and Cody Bellinger each hit 2 home runs, and Aaron Judge had his 40th of the year as the Yankees got a 13-3 win over the Rays. The 9 home runs was the second time they did this. They also did this against the Brewers March 29th at Yankee Stadium in a 20-9 win earlier. So Stanton, Bellinger, and Caballero became the second Yankees trio with multiple homers in the same game in franchise history, tying the feat of Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, and Bill Skowron. So some pretty good company there as well. It was only the 4th time a big league team has hit 9 or more homers in a game. The record, though, still the Toronto Blue Jays from 1987. Some interesting baseball stats in there for you. And then one final basketball nod that I want to give and kind of pick your brain a little bit about whether you think, Terrell, that John Wall should be a Hall of Famer. John Wall officially retiring, 5-time All-Star, never an All-Pro, though. So to keep that in mind, never played past the second round of the playoffs there with the Wizards all those years. Of course, team with Bradley Beal and in some of those teams, Marcin Gortat and some of those guys. Of course, his college career was fantastic. Played with DeMarco Cousins, Eric Bledsoe, Patrick Patterson, and Daniel Orton as all starting 5 were drafted in the first round. John Wall, of course, going number 1 that year. He's already a Kentucky Hall of Famer, was a consensus All-American and SEC Player of the Year for his 1 year at Kentucky. But for the pros, 5-time All-Star, is that enough, do you think, to get him in the Hall of Fame?
No. He's in the same boat as Derrick Rose. Didn't do anything.
Well,
you know,
Derrick Rose, the injury probably.
Well, injuries are not, Bock. You still have to perform, and he's probably headed to the big 3.
Yeah, that could be. Of course, as fast a player, maybe at his peak as we've seen or close to it in the NBA. He's incredibly quick, fun to watch. But team success might hold him back a little bit. And then that's just usually that right around there. You're getting 4 to 5 All-Star games. You're kind of, we'll see if you kind of get into the Hall of Fame. Once you kind of get to 6 and 7 All-Star games, you're pretty much in.
10.
10 is definitely it. Yeah, absolutely.
He's at 5.
Yeah.
He's short.
I think he will be short too.
Yeah. See you in the big 3 in a couple of weeks. 93.7 The Ticket. Bock and the Black Shirt will be right back to close it out for the day.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Tune in every Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. for the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters. Sit back and enjoy listening to Dr. Chatters discuss real stories involving struggle, inspiration, and real-life experiences with special guests and insights. Remember, the higher the pressure, the greater the lift. It's the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters every Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Nebraska football opens their season on Thursday, August 28th in Kansas City, and you can be a part of the best pregame tailgate party with Blur Events, live from Kauffman Stadium, home of the Royals. Doors open 4 hours before kickoff with a live DJ promoting interactive competitions and giveaways, tailgate games like cornhole, flip cup, and beer pong, access to ballpark concessions, and available air conditioning. Book your tickets today at blurevents.com/Kansas City and hang with 93.7 The Ticket on the scene prior to Nebraska versus Cincinnati on August 28th.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska insider today.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: patchy fog possible this morning, a slight chance of rain this afternoon. Otherwise, should see mainly sunny skies with a high around 90. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, a low around 66. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies and light and variable winds with a high around 88. I'm meteorologist Kyle Bucket for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air
and electrical.
Looking for a fun way to give back? Join us for the 2025 Kicks for Kids Nebraska Fun Run Walk, presented by Pinnacle Bank, on Saturday, August 23rd at James Arthur Vineyard. Enjoy a scenic 5K through beautiful grounds. Every step helps provide shoes to kids in Lincoln and Lancaster County schools, with options for adults, wine included, and kids. Registration fees include a t-shirt, medal, and bag. Sign up today and make a difference at kicksforkidsnebraska.org.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to Bock and the Black Shirt. 89 degrees outside right now. It's going to get a little bit hotter, going to cool down later on in the week, and then we'll be ready for some Nebraska football. Finally, the football gods have came back to life.
Yes, we've been talking about, been waiting for it for quite some time, and we are just a few days away from some Week 0 football, and obviously tomorrow we will be a week away from Husker football. I can't wait for it, and you know what? Let's get, it's going to be, there's going to be some ups and downs on the ride, but just can't wait to go through the ride through you. Although I should say, Terrell, I did win last year's of our Pick'em Challenge between you and I. So, 2 of the last 3 years, in fact, I've won that. So I'm very much looking forward to defending my belt.
Bock, have you seen the little kid on X? They call him Young Sheldon of basketball.
I did see that.
Did you see him name all the MVPs? I think it started with 1970.
Yeah.
He named 40. I don't know how many, but Bock.
He named them all in order.
Yeah, that kid was smart.
Put his
laptop down
Yep.
and said it all. Unless he's got a memory like a wizard, Bock.
Now, I do wonder, like, if you just picked out 1976, could he, or because he's young, I mean, any of those years, I suppose, might be anything, 1989 might sound as old as 2002. But I wonder if he could do that, or if it's one of those deals where, that president song, like kids would learn the presidents in order because they could kind of have a song they could hum along. I don't do it well, so I'm not going to try. But I wonder if it's that kind of deal, because it was rattling them off, like in an order that he had maybe memorized, which is good enough one way or the other. I couldn't do it, but I do wonder if you kind of pick year by year, if he would still be able to get it.
Now, Greg McElroy, ain't this his name?
Yeah, yep.
You should have seen him the other day. Whoever broadcasted that show must have been on some kind of something, Bob, because you're talking about an SEC team. Did you see it, Bob?
I did. He said Nebraska could win the SEC this year, right?
Yeah. And everybody's on there trying to
That'd be quite an accomplishment for a team that's not in the SEC.
If Nebraska wins the SEC, I would go for mayor of Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I say. I usually come on here and say, don't bet the house. And I think I really thought Dylan was going to get that number one jersey. So I said, maybe you could. That's where Bock was wrong. If you could do where Colin was wrong. But on this one, I would bet the house Nebraska will not win the SEC this year.
Yeah, that was crazy. Michigan 5-star true freshman Andrew Babiloni is feared to have suffered a season injury, ending knee injury. He's a big kid.
Yeah, we talked about this too with Texas Tech running back yesterday. These things happen. I mean, this is part of camp, and thankfully so far Nebraska's been able to get through relatively unscathed. I mean, we know Bly Hill, Gage Stanger, some of the guys that are going to be out, and both of them would have contributed. So I don't want to overlook that part of it. But for the most part, as far as huge impact injuries, I think Nebraska's in a good position hopefully to keep it that way. But yeah, I mean, this happens every year. Texas going into last year lost a few of their starting running backs. Can really kind of change what you look at the season. I mean, we remember even last year, Prohaska, losing them, maybe about this time was a pretty big deal. So let's just hope Nebraska can kind of get through unscathed or as unscathed as they are now. And you hope for every team to be able to do that. You want to put your best foot forward.
All right, Bock. Alabama's Ryan Williams, Ohio State safety Caleb Downs,
Michigan quarterback Bryce Underwood, Georgia running back Nate Frazier, Texas edge Colin Simmons, Oregon quarterback Dante Moore, Florida quarterback DJ Lagway, Oklahoma quarterback John Mater, South Carolina quarterback Lenore Sellers are all on the class of 25 Beats by Dre.
Oh, they're all signed. Okay.
They all signed by Beats by Dre.
Yeah, I was going to say, those are all recognizable names. Some have accomplished more than others, so not sure how Dante Moore found his way into that. I mean, he's the starting quarterback at Oregon, so maybe some connections there. But yeah, that's not a surprise. You're going to go with household names with Beats by Dre.
All right, Bock, a couple of quotes from some Nebraska guys who was talking about running back Makai Nelson. This is a guy, and I get that RB1 is established, but if this guy is anything like he practices, pauses, man, dude is pretty good. I'm talking about Micaiah, best run of the past 72 hours. Later says, in fact, that was the best run of all fall camp. He's by far the most electric of the bunch.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think Damon Binning was the one that said that. But it's interesting. Obviously, a guy that was able, Damon is the color commentator now for the Husker broadcast, and so he's got probably as much access as he wants to go down there and watch a lot of the practices. There are going to be names that we don't necessarily think of right now that are going to be key to how the season progresses. And Makai Nelson, it's not a secret. I mean, you've been listening to those that have been able to attend or talk about practice or been close to the Nebraska football team. He's one name that continually pops up as, this guy's got some speed to him. So, I mean, we talked about Emmett Johnson, of course, being that number one guy and having to fight off and maybe not being able to, at times last year and each of the last 2 years, maybe not getting as many carries as some people feel maybe he should, but he's going to have to fend off competition from behind him. And maybe, I know his goal is to start to break away some of the more of those home runs and be able to finish off some of those long runs he had last year. But you might have a challenger on there for kind of a guy that can be that big play dynamic for Nebraska. And, again, it's one of those things where we talk about this with the defensive line, talk about this with the running back position. From the outside, it looks like a concern, but Matt Rule has said that's not necessarily the case. Those, feels good about the running backs they have, feels good about the defensive line they have. And, maybe if Nelson can live up to, some of those whispers from practice, maybe it would be more of an understanding of why they didn't go and hit the portal hard this offseason at running back.
Yeah, it's better done against your guys than you want to see it against other teams. We always had a lot of running backs like that. We used to bang Damon up, so but he'll get in the game and he'll bust off some long runs against some teams that you probably wouldn't expect. But I like the competition for the running back room. I like all four guys, but unfortunately only 2 to 3 can get most of the carries. So we have to see how the depth chart looks, even if we don't know about the depth chart that's coming out. But I think Emmett should, go out there the first game and prove something that he's that number one guy. And it's different when the fans like you and try and then have to go out there and prove that you're the starter, because you hear a lot of rumble from guys that behind you that's creating a lot of noises. But at the same time, you keep your focus, go out there, hit the hose hard, and rack up the yards.
Yeah, I mean, it could be huge though. I mean, you think about and some of the top teams. Ohio State last year had a great running back room. Penn State comes in with a very good running back room. How much more than one running back? When we talk about you want a bell cow, or you want a guy that kind of leads that group, sure. But you also want a few options back there. And between Nelson and Mosey, of course, they've, Ives kind of had that injury, so it looks like they've kind of taken over as the second and third running backs. If they can be legitimate threats and add a dimension to the offense, that's kind of the big question mark coming in for this offense. One, can the offensive line improve and live up to the hype? But the other, can you get that depth at the running back position? So if you do, you feel really good about your wide receiver group, obviously your quarterback, tight end room, that offense could have a whole new ceiling.
All right, Big Daddy Travis says he's so ready for Nebraska football. Husker football is finally back next week, and I took Friday off to golf 18 holes in the morning. So he's going to have a
busy weekend there. 93.7 The Ticket, Bock in the Black Shirt. Window World Wednesday. Check us out tomorrow, Thursday. All righty, we'll see you there.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious